Welcome to the In the Can Show, where you can listen to our podcast as many times as you like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Get the latest in film reviews from inthecan.net, preventing mind vomits by recommending only the best.
Alright, so on Monday, I was on Cliff Central talking to Gareth Cliff about a whole lot of movies that all of you felt you could watch as many times as you liked and you'd never get bored of it. And there were some interesting results. But as I said there, it all boils down to taste. So Terrence and I are going to share our taste with you of what movies we can watch ad infinitum and never get bored.
And also some of the feedback that we've got from our fans as well on movies that they can watch over and over again.
What are some of the gems that our fans had to say when posed the question?
Well, at Light Blue SA has said the Dark Knight trilogy.
I'm in agreement. I think some are more watchable than others in the trilogy, but I think it goes for most trilogies.
Yeah, for me it would be definitely the first and the second one.
You know, I'm kind of on par with all of them. You know, I think that the Dark Knight itself is a lot heavier. The Dark Knight Rises, I find, is actually very easy to rewatch despite being so long. Because the story isn't quite as realistic as the others, you can kind of let go when you watch it. So it's a bit easier to watch. Not the best out of the trilogy, but still fun.
Yeah, it's a more sort of actiony title, so I can see where you're coming from. It's just too many plot holes for me.
No, that's the problem.
So yeah, it's just I kind of, you know, unlike the Dark Knight, and that had its own problems, but it was just presented so well. I think that all of the issues with the Dark Knight Rises sort of took me out of the moment, whereas from beginning till end, I was thoroughly engrossed in the previous film, the second in the trilogy.
And anything else we can touch base on?
Yeah, at MGM Chucks, his one is Slumdog Millionaire, Danny Boyle film.
Yeah.
Not one of his best, but certainly his most celebrated.
Well, I can watch Trainspotting over and over again.
Myself included, definitely.
Maybe not so much Slumdog Millionaire, because it's not bad, but you know, part of that movie is the mystery, and there are some mystery movies where you can watch them over and over again after it's been revealed. No, it's still, I mean, Slumdog Millionaire, it won some Academy Award, I think. So
yes, it did,
and for a reason, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it was a great movie. It's arguably not his best, but I'd say it's a crowd pleaser.
It's probably one of his that you can watch at least multiple times, whereas
and with your family.
and with your family at least, because I mean, I watched what was it, Trance, not so long ago, and that, yeah, you don't want to watch that with your mother. I can tell you that.
No, it's best watched alone, I think.
Yeah.
For reasons unmentionable.
It's called breasts, Terrence.
Well, I was going for muff, but anyway.
The word itself makes some men uncomfortable. Vagina.
At Movie Critic, who's a sort of a local Capetonian critic by the name of Spling, he said he's watched Monty Python and Holy Grail 3 times in a row, and the third time was in Romanian. So kudos to him.
That's hardcore, I'll say, to watch Monty Python not in its native language. But no, I mean, my better half will disagree with me, but I could watch Monty Python over and over again, and I have done so. So
yes, I have too, especially the Flying Circus. I've seen all of those quite a few times.
But this is also where taste comes into play, because a lot of people just don't get Monty Python. So it's like, you know, you can put it in front of them, they just don't understand it or they don't get the humor. So it really
Yeah.
is very selective. That's why when I saw a lot of people saying, oh, well, they can watch Titanic over and over again. One person said, we watch Titanic over and over again, and even my fiance does, and he loves it. And I'm just thinking, your fiance is the biggest liar.
Yeah, or he's just not the sharpest pencil in the space case. There's another few comments here. I like this guy's selection the best because these are my favorite films as well, or some of them. I have many, as I'm sure you do. At Woofco, he's got a picture of a dog, so I don't know if the Woof is for. I don't know if that's his dog's name or. Anyway, maybe you can let us know what's going on there. Shaun of the Dead, Paul, Hot Fuzz, and Sherlock, the UK series. Good choices.
Yeah, well, they're all more or less along the same vein, so that just explains his taste right there.
Yeah,
I'm
he's into
inclined
the
to-
British stuff. Paul's sort of the American one of their films, but yeah, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, some great British humor there.
Well, you're gonna have to when I come and visit you in Cape Town, you're gonna have to treat me to Hot Fuzz, and I mean that totally in the movie sense. But because I haven't actually seen it, so it's,
What?
yeah, I know,
You're
it's on the
missing.
bucket list.
You're missing out, man. You're missing out.
The enormous bucket list of movies that everybody tells me to watch. I still haven't watched any of the Bourne movies. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched the last one that they made, the Bourne Legacy, which was total crap from start to finish. But
That's the Jeremy Renner one.
yeah, he
Yeah,
wasn't the
that
bad
was-
part. The story was the bad part.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other feedback that we can gauge?
Yeah, we've got at Jinx 394. Her favorites are The Wedding Crashers, Shoot 'Em Up. I hated that movie. The Dark Knight, Indiana Jones. There we go. That's more like it. And Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm more fan of the British series than the American television show, as much as I like Sam Rockwell and
You know what?
what's the name? Zoe Deschanel.
I think that you can watch The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy a lot of times. I think that the humor is there. I think that as far as, you know, being faithful to Douglas Adams, not so much. But, or at least the original work, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But, yeah, I mean, I've heard about Shoot 'Em Up. I heard something about a carrot being shoved into someone's throat or something.
That's with Paul Giamatti and I think it's Clive Owen.
Yeah, Clive Owen. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, don't waste your time. It's a shite film.
You know, the thing is that some years ago, someone told me that I have to watch this movie. And I have to, and I must. And whenever anybody does that to me, like, and they say that sort of thing, it's like I just end up never watching it. I don't know why. It's like, I guess they've hyped me up for it, so I don't want to be disappointed, so I just don't even watch it.
No, they're clearly overselling it.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of crappy movies that I like that I think that you can watch a lot of times.
Yeah.
Without getting bored. Like, for instance, a lot of people hated this movie, but I'm a firm believer in its cult classic status, and that is Tank Girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that Tank Girl is kick-ass, and I've watched it I don't know how many times. When I first watched it in the cinema, I didn't get it at all, but that's because I was a kid, but or at least younger. But then when I got it on DVD, I was like, huh.
Absolutely.
Well, there's definitely it doesn't have to be a particularly good movie in order to be able to watch it a lot of times. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll
This,
mention one movie that I think that people will know because it's really quite different, but I'll come to it later. Anything from our adoring fans? We can.
Yeah, lots of people said The Big Lebowski. I think you guys chatted about that quite a
Yeah.
lot on Clip's show this morning.
Universally acclaimed. The Big Lebowski is the most rewatchable movie. so it
Absolutely.
seems amongst everybody that I've spoken to. it doesn't get enough credit, you know. I mean, when it first came out, it didn't really get a whole lot of critical praise, but look at how it stayed. I mean, it's got one of the most legendary characters, the dude.
Yeah. It's got staying power, eh?
Yeah, it does. You know, and I think, you know, the thing is that it's so 90s that you can watch it as a historical piece as well. So
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know how many times I've watched it. And
Another one of the Coen brothers movies that I've watched many times, almost as much as the Big Lebowski, is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
no, it's also got a lot of rewatchability. The Coen brothers do have a lot of rewatchability to their movies.
Yeah, it's just so fantastically made.
But completely on a different tangent, that movie that I wanted to mention before, it's a movie that I've watched with my brother and my family many times, and I don't know why we watched it so many times. I still can watch it today. It's called Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
With Steve Odenkirk.
Yeah, with Steve Odenkirk, dubbed over martial arts movie. I think it's one
Yes.
of the most batshit crazy movies I've ever seen.
Isn't he have like gopher nunchucks or something
Yeah,
in there?
Gopher Chucks.
Gopher chucks, yeah.
That I've watched that movie maybe second to Star Wars as how many times I've seen it. So, which I don't know if
It's a crazy ass movie.
that's just depressing or
No, it's hilarious. If you don't have a six pack before you watch that movie, you will have one after. I'm just surprised at the lack of Lord of the Rings comments. Do people have Lord of the Rings fatigue as Peter Jackson milked the holy cow, the money cow dry?
I think that,
People just don't give a shit anymore. But the fact is that the question is, what movie can you watch over and over again? It might not be anymore, but back before the Hobbit trilogy, I did watch those movies quite a few times.
no, I'm totally on the same page as you, man. I also watched it an incredible amount of times. I think because it was just, firstly, it's an extraordinarily beautiful movie. Like, just the set design and everything is great. The action sequences are perfect. Especially, you know, my favorite is the Fellowship of the Ring. I've watched that movie more than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, they get turned off by it now because of the very long running times, and it's an entire trilogy. So it's like, you can watch it, and maybe you did watch it. Now you stick into like single titles, even some trilogies. You know, you can watch the entire thing. Lord of the Rings is really an enormous mountain to climb. So you can put it on as background movie. But,
it's almost as epic as the journey itself.
yeah, no, I agree with you.
To sit through those. I remember I was in the Eastern Cape with nothing to do, and we had like one shitty little video store, and I went and hired those, and I did on a sort of sad, lonely afternoon watching all three of those. And I think after that marathon, I literally did grow a beard.
I can imagine. And everybody in there has beards except for hobbits anyway, so you became a man.
I became a man.
We've responded to your feedback on what movies you'd love to watch over and over again without getting bored. So tell us, what kind of movies can you not even sit through 10 minutes of? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked what we had to say, please subscribe and like the video. We appreciate every little bit of support that we get. And as always, thanks for listening, and stay tuned to inthecan.net.